All systems go. Clear for liftoff. What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, aka ToeTagginTambo, back for another edition of the PGA Show here on the SHIPIT Nation YouTube station. Got my guy here, Hoopster, with me as always, and we're breaking down the final major of the PGA season. We got the Open overseas. We had the Scottish Open last week, got the Open this week, and then got the 3M Open next week. Some people are excited about that, some not so much, but appreciate everybody being here. Do us a favor on the way in. Make sure to smash that like, subscribe to the channel. Hoopster, we're just getting off a little business meeting. We're all fired up. We got some big things coming down the pipeline. You know, someone called our girl Kim, actually, from our Discord, said Teasers Palace for Tambo's HQ in the backyard. But we love our teasers, but we only do it when it's really good. That's what I always say.
Yeah, absolutely. It is crazy. Like in terms of, you know, where we're at in the PGA season, obviously the last major just goes so fast, man. It just goes, everything just goes fast. It's crazy. Life just continues to go at a rapid pace. The older you get, the faster it goes. But yeah, major, and that, like, the last major of the season for me just means one thing, and that's like NFL is right around the corner. We're close, and kind of in this industry, you kind of see a pivot to NFL after the PGA major. So we have some big announcements in regard to that today and in the next couple of weeks. We like you said, we just came off a business meeting, and we're always looking, man. I say it all the time: improve, add on. I got to find one more word to go along with that, because I think the next thing is next level, almost what we're kind of working on here. So very excited.
Yeah, we always say it, and then people make fun of it, and then they come around to it. But the next thing, the August 6th, we put a date on it now, so everybody knows. Mark your calendars. August 6th, the biggest announcement probably that we've ever made, at least as far as we're always transparent with people. The ad spend on this, the marketing dollars behind it, and for the community, this is definitely going to be the biggest we've ever made. So we're super excited to announce that. But we did save up our marketing dollars as far as like the deposits we make with the people. So we haven't done much marketing. We're not going to do a ton today. We're just going to hit high level quickly and then get right into the Open, doing it as usual. Bring up SaberSim, go through the builds. The pricing is atrocious this week, but we all play with the same pricing, so that's good. We'll go through all that and more, but real quick, just want to direct you guys and let you know. So let me see here when we share the screen, Hoop. First things first, let's go to this one. And what is it? This one. So it's up on the website now. So Hoop talked about it just so people could see it. The early bird special is back. So when golf ends, football is coming back, and we wanted to make sure this was a big deal. So we're going to actually have a whole launch show for this next week, and we'll cover it very quickly here because it truly is for the early birds. But $349 all in for the entire NFL season. It's including SaberSim. It's got college football included again. You're not paying extra $200 on other sites. And it's got more to it than just that. So just to go through it for you guys quickly, breaking it all down. This is the thing we showed last year. We'll show it again because everything's updated. Now we have SaberSim. Other sites went up in price. Some came down. But this is the breakdown of the market when it comes to NFL pricing. If you're going to get in anyway, or if you're on the sidelines, more on this in a second, we've got some bonuses that are going to save you some money. So that's why this is important. It's not just sales. There's money to be saved. Money saved is money made. $349 is all in. That's everything, including SaberSim. You can actually get it for $299 if you don't need an optimizer, but $349 is the best deal because it's less than $10 a month to add on the optimizer with SaberSim. Other competitors, $449, $519, $599, up to $1,000 in some places to add both. So $349. We have $549 in early bird bonuses. And this is how it breaks down, and this is key. First one. If you sign up for the early bird bonus right now, you get free all access until NFL. That is the $99 a month plan with Saber that you get for 2 months up until September 3rd when football comes back. Meaning, and no other site will do this for you or tell you this, they want to keep all your money and say, oh, it's bad business. We don't care. We tell you guys like it is every single time. If you're a PGA only member, you could literally cancel your PGA only membership right now, sign up for the early bird because you're going to be around for NFL anyway for the best savings possible, and you'll get all access for the summer for no charge. And you'll keep that 70, 80, 90 bucks, whatever it is in your pocket, depending. I'll save the other one, the second one, for last. The college football content, free. So that is all the college football content on the site that we cover. For those that were with us last year and know, it's pretty straightforward, but projections, ownership, the Stone, core report, player pool, the Discord, all of that updating, by the way, with all the moves as things on the fly happen, people with the beat writers, all that stuff included. And then there's a mystery bonus, which is part of the August 6th announcement. I'll say it this way. It's not as good as a Millie Maker win, but it's better than a $100 single entry ticket. So everybody that gets in the early bird bonus will get a mystery bonus item as well. And then lastly, sticking with the education and just making sure we got it all covered for here, you guys, we created the NFL DFS mega course from DFS Mastermind. This is 7.5 hours of the best content related to NFL, behind the scenes, everything covered. You're going to get all that included. And then you also get 3 episodes of your choice for interviews from behind the mind. So you're getting a bunch more value added on top. All this is included in the one package. If you guys want to check it out, go to the site right now. You can go to shipitnation.com. Right on the top in that banner is the early bird special. Hoop, anything else I missed or anything else you want to cover there?
No, I mean, obviously laid it out very, very well. And, it's a situation where, again, we want to get these plans out there. We want to provide our customer base with the most value, the most incentives, the most upside. And man, this is it. And getting now free all access all the way till NFL in our Discord as well with SaberSim. The mastermind package, like you talked about, it includes college football. Like, sites are going to charge a crazy amount for college football. This is everything you need rolling into NFL, plus more, plus more, plus more. It is a absolutely insane deal. No one's going to be able to match it, I promise you. So if you have someone that you really like, a site in this industry, and you say, oh, well, this is what SHIPIT Nation's offering, they will not be able to come up with anything close to what we are offering. We would obviously love to have you. This price is obviously going to be going up. It is an early bird deal. We're 6 weeks away from NFL, but again, you're getting free all access at SHIPIT Nation leading into NFL. It's an insane deal. If you are a PGA only member, like the what you should be doing if you're planning on staying with us for NFL is cancel and subscribe to this package. So it's the best there is. Excited, obviously, for NFL and everything that goes along with it. So it's we wanted to get it out early and provide just an insane amount of value to come along with it.
Yeah, and I want to handle one quickly. I'm not pulling it up for the screen purposes, but just to know, people talking about what tier is included. Say when you go to SaberSim, the starter package is $97 a month. That is all sports. You can't get a single sport only. We have a specialized package at SHIPIT Nation. They call it the core package, but it's everything you need. You build 250 lineup pool up to 150 lineups. That is included. So anybody who plays 150 lineups is still all good. If you wanted contest sims, you don't have any choice anywhere. It doesn't matter what site you're with. You have to go up to an ultimate package to get contest sims. So whether it's through another site, through us, through SaberSim, the only way to get contest sims is through that. Starter is if you want the additional items like contest flashback, the additional sports and that sort of thing. But it's a better deal with us for all access. It's $129 over here to get you all of that included. Other sites are charging $175 for the same thing. There is no sims with any site, to answer the question in the chat, unless you go with SaberSim, with other competitors, which you guys know who they are, and with us. You cannot get contest sims until you go to an ultimate package. So that's the main component. 150 to Hoop's point right there. When you go to single sport, which you do get the SaberSim optimizer up to 150 lineups. If you're paying for PGA only right now at $59 a month, that's $120 towards your $349 package, because you just get to cancel that right now, buy the $349 package, and you're in and good to go. So hope that helps you guys. We're not going to spend too much other time on it. Like I said, you get the free courses, you get all the benefits at the bottom, and the mystery bonus is big. August 6th will be the key, but that's something to remember for sure, is you'll want to get in before August 6th. The prices are up on the website. You see them there. They're crossed out. The price will go up $50 and then $100. So right now is, if you're already going to do it, the chance to save the money and get the best deal possible. So, yeah, if you like the Sims, you're already a Sims customer. It doesn't make any, like, nobody's going to be able to offer it to you. That's just to clarify on that. So yeah, thank you for chiming in. We appreciate it. Hoop, anything else you want to cover on this? If not, let's talk about the Open, man. It's going to be a good one. This final major of the season.
Yeah, it's obviously a big one. We got a little, preview of that sort of golf last week. Fun to watch. Got the time change. Obviously, if you're, in the U.S., it's 5, 6, 7, 8 hours different than you're used to. So it is. It's different. Obviously, if you're going to watch this, adjust your sleep schedule a little bit to get things aligned. But looking forward to it. It's always fun with these majors. You get the loaded fields. The pricing on DraftKings, I think you kind of alluded to it, is kind of unfortunate, I guess. Like they're really squandering like the whole 5K situation. Whenever there's a 5K range, it really it messes everything up. I have the dry run here, and if you understand the concepts behind the 5K range, you can probably guess what the dry run is going to look like just based on projected score. Very easy. What I thought was going to happen did happen. I built one dummy team manually. So easy, so easy to build the teams. If you're doing the 5K, you got to bump everybody up. You can't just bump one guy. They bumped one guy because they added the 5K range. Scotty Scheffler has a big boy price tag. No one else got like a big price jump. So we'll see when we go through. I mean, regardless, so everyone's playing the same slate. The contests are big. So there's definitely going to be some talking points and things to go through, but not thrilled with the pricing is my first take on this one.
Yeah, I agree. So I talked about it in our Discord, and the funny part is they keep doing this with Scotty, and you and I keep talking about it. This one is just wild, though. The 6K range has guys like Harry Hall, Harris English, Nikolai Hogard. It's got Daniel Berger, like a bunch of more names than that I could go into, and some of them should belong there and some of them shouldn't. But in reality, it's pretty crazy how many, guys got pushed down to that level. And in the fives, it's not like there's anything crazy, but the same people were willing to pay more for last week dropped down huge again, like Kevin Yu down to 5,800, Jordan Smith, Grazerman, Nico, Mackenzie Hughes, Matt McCarty, all those guys are down there. So you can build a million different ways. It's just going to come down to what we always talk about. It's, the Scotty effect of what you think those look like, Hoop, because they made them a lot more expensive than Rory. I think that for sure, and we saw it last week too, kept him in check more than we thought, right? Like everyone had Scotty as a higher ownership. It dropped him down a little bit, but the 6K range is going to get used a bunch, and most likely rightfully so. There's just so many variations that you can go to down there, that land there. Taylor Pendrith, your boy's another one there. So Matt McNeely, 6,100. There's a bunch of names down in that range. Nick Taylor at the minimum down there at 6K flat. For the sixes. So I don't know if there's anything else there. What's SaberSim giving us? Let's pull that up and see.
Yeah, so just did what we have kind of coined the dry run. So kind of went in, just did a dry run. We got 1,000 teams, have it switch to projected points. I have your exposure column preloaded all the way over. I don't even have to pull it over live on the show, as this thing's already over here, ready to go. So the first thing I want to do is just sort by salary and see what we get in the top range. Because my initial thought was, hey, we're probably going to get a ton of these guys in the top range because it's going to be very easy to play them. And what do you get? A ton of guys in the top range without even making any changes to anything. So Scotty Scheffler got 42%. This is projected score, 150 teams. Rory McIlroy, 28%. John Rahm, 66. Bryson DeChambeau, 25. Tommy Fleetwood, 36. So there's high ownership on all these guys. So the next thing I like to do is kind of sort by exposure. Is there anything crazy going on where I'm getting a ton of like a random 5K guy that I don't like? Well, we got Mav McNeely, 71%. I'm not playing Mav McNeely at 71%. Let's just cap him at 20, apply, and see what happens, all right? Is there anyone else crazy? Harris English, we're getting 26. Reasonable. So, just capping Mav McNeely. Now let's go ahead, bring it back, sort by salary. Still getting 42% Scotty. Still getting 20% Rory. Still getting 69% John Rahm. 20% Bryson. 42% Tommy Fleetwood. And that's with nothing too crazy in terms of just random dudes that are coming in with super high ownership or exposure, I should say. So that tells you all you really need to know about this slate. All these guys up top that look appealing, going to be easy to access them. They're going to be pretty highly owned. And to what degree is really the big ultimate question. But really no surprises for me. And this just by projected score. We'll go the next steps and see how it shakes out when we do by saver score and then by contest sims as well. So, I mean, I don't know. What are your initial thoughts here?
Interesting that Rory gets squeezed because, it's definitely Rahm at 10-4 being another 1,100 cheaper. I get that. But then it's like the point is this, and this comes up all the time. So I'll bring it up. Spencer Smith says, does Scotty have to win at that price? If so, I'm out. Everything in golf DFS, PGA DFS, if you will, it just gets looked at so singular and people forget you're not matchup betting. You're not outright betting. There's all the other factors. So it depends on what the other five do. And
really, it depends on what the other people around him, what do the other spends do? If he finishes fifth, right? The easiest way to explain this to people, because a lot of times he has to win at that price. If he finishes fifth, Rory finishes 20th, Jon Rahm finishes 18th, Bryson finishes 25th, then yes, you're going to need Scotty at 14-2 finishing fifth. All that matters is the guys around him. If Scotty finishes fifth, but Rory wins the event, you're probably not going to need Scotty. I mean, that's just the best way to kind of lay it out.
Yeah, the reason I flip it, I agree, but I also flip it the other way is because Rory, what people don't understand, especially with the Scotty conversation and Rory, is they could finish 3-4. Like they're the best in the field, and that can easily happen. It's way more about what the others do. If it's Scotty and Rory, and then 5-6K guys up there, could be either of them, but it's more likely the Scotties because the Scotty ones jam those in. And so you see optimizers gave more of those. There's more variations. There's more that go with it. So it really matters what everybody does, but it's the people around him and then the others in the field. What we're saying here and why this is important for this week and why the talk is always just about DFS. You could literally blank out the names and just show me the values. When you see all these guys in the sixes, Rye, Spawn, Gotterup, Keegan Bradley, Minwoo Lee, Akshay, the list goes on. That's just above 6,500. Then you get to the bottom, there's like 15 more names. That's where the variations start to kick in. And there's more. Everyone says, well, 1 week when it's just one guy down there, it's like, then it kind of depends on what does the $6,500 value do. But if there's 30 values or 40 values down there, there's way more combinations to get you there. So it's going to depend on what the other guys do and what you like in the other ranges. If you love the 8Ks, well, then you'll have to make your lineups differently because it's hard to get Scotty and the 8Ks, right? It's easier to go down to Rahm at 10-4, and Rahm is just so much cheaper than Scotty, almost $4,000 cheaper. So it really does matter to look at everything. And that's also why, Hoop, I think it's a good exercise from last week. I mean, you attach yourself to some value plays in golf where people used to shit on you for it. And you're like, look, pal, like you're so into the ownership game that you're not focused on what could happen. And there's other spots in the lineup that you can use. And I know a ton of people disappointed last week with Gotterup and you coming through at high ownership, but they were pegged as huge values. Everybody wanted them, and Gotterup came through and literally won the tournament. So it happens, but typically they're values for a reason, and it's just all how you play them, right? Any other comments on that before we keep moving on?
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I think it goes back to what you always say. It's like, it's not who you play, it's how you play them. If you like somebody, like, you don't have to get off of them. Just build a little bit differently. Like you kind of just said, like if it's Scotty and a bunch of 5 and 6K guys, like try to find a way to build it a little bit differently. So yeah, I'm never getting off someone because of ownership. If I like them, I'll just do things differently. You have 5 other spots. Like you don't, the one spot is one thing, but you have 5 other spots to do something different. And, just how this all applies to this week in terms of roster construction. I mean, just look at some of these teams, right? You're getting Bryson, Jon Rahm, and Tommy Fleetwood. So those are 3 guys above 9,500. You're assuming the rest of the lineup is going to look like complete dog shit. When you tell me I get Rahm, I get Bryson, and Fleetwood, you're going to say, man, I can't imagine what the rest of that team is going to look like. Well, our first team has – or where the hell did that team go? Yeah, right here. Our first team has those 3. Has Keegan, legitimate golfer. It has Corey Connors, very legitimate golfer. And it has Maverick McNeely, who's like what is he ranked? He's ranked like top 20 or something in the world. on this team. So it's like you're not sacrificing anything to get exposure to the top end guys here. So that's, we can pull up a Scotty team just to see. Let's see what some of these Scotty teams look like. Scotty, 4 legitimate options. I mean, Hatton, whether or not you like these guys or not, does not matter. I mean, these are 5 legit golfers to go with the 14K.
Yeah, just it's funny you brought that one up because that's a 2v2, right? So it's Scotty. Oh no, it's a 3v3.
Scotty, it's like Scotty and Hatton, right? Yeah.
Scotty, Hatton, Rye versus Bryson, Rahm, and Tommy.
Yeah.
Scotty, Hatton, Rye, Bryson, Tommy, Rahm.
And that's why I think Scotty probably does get held in check. It's easy to play him. Don't get me wrong. It's very easy to play him, but his ownership will get held in check because people are going to look at this and just say, damn, that other combo is you have 3, top 10 golfers. You're playing Scotty with some top 30 guys. So I do think the 14-2 does have a chance to keep Scotty in check a little bit, but if someone's MMEing and coming and using SaberSim, you see it's like I'm not sacrificing anything to get 40% Scotty Scheffler. So people that are MMEing are going to have both sides of that all over the place because it's just too easy.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that's the tricky. I guess it's the bad thing about when pricing's like this, but we all play with the same. I really like having a portfolio on a week like this because you are able to mix this up, and this is a great example. I think a lot more people, I know the chat, first couple of people chimed in on Scotty. It's like 2-1 on that. We just put it up. If you guys want to throw your side, the 1 side is Scotty, put a 1 for Scotty, put a 2 for Rahm side of this. But this is just to show it that you don't need to go to the 5K. You don't really need to do too much at all. And you are getting a good comparison here. Like you could easily think Rahm, Bryce, and Fleetwood sounds like bigger names, but you could see Scotty Hatton, and then it's just Rye has to show up. And if Scotty really shows up, or if Hatton really shows up, or something along those lines, all of a sudden that's the one you're competing with, and that's the setup.
Yeah. If people are presented legitimately, you have one team to make this week, all right? You're making one team, and you're putting all your money behind this one team. I would say 70% of people will be choosing the Rahm Bryson side.
I agree.
It could be even higher than that. I mean, you look at these names, Scotty, Hatton, Rye, which side do I like? I honestly might like that first side, but I know for a fact a majority of people, when they're putting their money behind these lineups, will select number 2 here, and there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, especially people that are out there hand building this up, because that's from a value perspective and the projections and stuff on some of that's why you saw it popping in ours. Like the projections will pop them up there. But what would people choose, to your point, which most of them are just going out and building this? I definitely think they land on the Rahm side. And more of our chat is seemingly liking that, but people like both. It's just, yeah. And Kenny says that I'm honestly very shocked. So last week, Scotty was supposed to be popular, and you'll remember he wasn't quite as popular, right? It kind of came in check a little bit. I don't know how this week is going to happen because, again, the 14-2 startled people until they got to the 6K range. Everybody starts at the top and then scrolls down. And when they scroll down, they're like, wait a minute, how the hell are these guys down here that you can use with him? Like you can load up, and Hoop showed it. You still have that lineup, by the way, that we're comparing. This 3v3 here, where's it at? I just threw it up. This 3v3 has Keegan Bradley, Corey Connors, and Mav McNeely as the other 3 in it. So it's not like we're naming names you've never heard of or some crazy spots down there. Spencer asked this question about how many uniques do you run? It's a personal preference. There actually is new features in SaberSim. We're going to have a live Q&A for SHIPIT Nation members tomorrow. So SaberSim, anybody who uses SaberSim can check it out if they're a SHIPIT Nation member. And it's basically going to be breaking this down with Jordan from SaberSim, with our guy Rio, Hebrew Cheetah, and myself. And we're going to go through and look at this and these new features where you can see this. And it essentially sets your portfolio up for diversity without having to look for this. But if you were just doing it and choosing yourself, most people are putting 2 to 3 in there because they want to have different variations. If you got a smaller, tighter pool, you could tighten up the unique some because you just want more within your own pool. But if you're spacing it out a little bit, you can put some more uniques in there just to get different that way. One other thing too here, Hoop, I saw Patrick says, all right, this is a good little storyline right quick. He says, all right, watch us every week. Think I'm going to finally have to join the nation. We welcome you, Patrick. Definitely the best deal to check it out. You can, if you're going to be with us for NFL. NFL seasons have been phenomenal the last 2 years. The results speak for themselves. The members crushing it. You can go check it out on our X account at SHIPIT Nation and see all that. And all in the past, we've got videos here on the YouTube channel, Millie Maker winners and things like that. But Ryan goes, as part of joining the nation, you have to use EVR next week. Patrick, my buddy is EVR's caddy. If that's true, I beg of you, I need autograph. Big fan. It is true, Patrick. Ryan is an actual EVR fan. It does exist. Yes. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, the 6K range is just so strong no matter what. And yeah, Spencer caught on, must have it already. Says doesn't matter with the Sabre update. If you're using the new Sabre update, you can always convert back to classic mode. But if you're using the new one, they've done a ton of work in the back end. And it's awesome having them as partners because there's lots of things that we can do. That's one of the things which is awesome. So yeah, check it out. You get SaberSim directly, and all these packages we have include SaberSim in them. So next, Hoop, are you going to pull up the Sabre score?
Yeah, I just made one quick adjustment, and just for personal preference, like when I pulled up, when we looked at the projection, so we had like Rory and John Rahm close, and there's a huge gap between Scotty and Rory. I just wanted to close that a little bit, close that gap. So I bumped Rory to 75, his actual projection number. And then when we went through and ran the team, still getting a lot of John Rahm, getting a lot of Tommy, but it's closer now between Scotty and Rory. So that's just one thing to note. Did get let's sort by exposure and make sure nothing else is too crazy. Boom. Rye, we're getting 29%. Like, I'm probably not going to play Rye. I'll just cap it at 20 for the sake of this.
He's popping big in the 6K range for the projections and value, so that's why.
Yeah, so I just wanted to adjust a couple things before we go in and look at Sabre score. Yeah, that's probably good enough. All right, let's see. Sabre score, we'll just do the big number, 50,000 plus, to kind of take a look at milli maker type stuff. Sort by exposure, still getting a lot of John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, 40%, Tommy Fleetwood, 34, 32, 30 for Bryson. So it's the same thing, man. I mean, so many of these teams are not only starting with one spend, they're starting with two spends, and we saw some where there's three spends. If you consider 9,500 and above a spend, we've already seen teams where we're getting three of those guys in there. How do the teams differ? You're getting the high end guys, but you're getting some lower owned options to go along with it. Daniel Berger at like 6%, Akshay 3%, Pendrith 4%, Max Grazerman's in this. So we're still getting the high end spends, but with Sabre score, it's starting to mix in some of these lower owned cheap options. But these teams look damn good. That's the one takeaway. I mean, it's like just like a all-star sort of, it's going to be all-star teams. Like, you're going to build your teams this week and be like, damn, I like this. How can this thing lose? And the way it can lose is everyone's looking at their teams and saying the same thing. Unless you're leaving like $3,000 on the table, it might be a little bit different, but everyone's looking at the same thing and thinking the same thing. So be careful. Don't get too tied to your teams this week and think like, oh man, these things can't lose. It looks too good. Everyone's team's looking real good.
Yeah, and that's the elephant in the room, by the way. $25 milli maker this week, $5 100K up top, et cetera, et cetera. So there's actually, a method to their madness. They want every team to look good. They want people to continue to build more teams, et cetera, et cetera. Those that have been playing forever already know this, but just throwing it out there for those wondering, like Hoop said, you start looking at it like, man, every team looks good. Don't go overboard just because it's a major week. Like if you got an edge that you like, or if you're playing a weather angle, or you feel good about that. By the way, our guy Luke will be back tomorrow night on the SHIPIT Nation channel. He'll have all that updated for you and more. It's definitely a week to keep an eye on the weather. Currently, I know people are talking about a potential for an AM PM, just different situations like that. So keep that in mind. Spencer says, want to sponsor me in the 555. I love shooting your shot, but we might have more on that in the future.
That's what I was going to say. If you're interested in that sort of thing, you're interested in this sort of thing, you might want to make sure that you sign up for an NFL package sooner rather than later. Okay. Yeah. I saw that message and my eyes lit up, and I know yours did too. So I definitely wanted to make sure we touched on that. Got some really cool and innovative things coming up.
Anytime we can touch on the marketing, man, you know me, that's in for sponsorship opportunities. You're sponsoring people, Kenny, with the massive bankroll, because I know you're retiring soon. So hopefully, if you go into investing in this business, let us know. You can get in for sponsorship opportunities. We'll keep Kenny part of the squad for sure. The tease already happened, so we're good. Ryan asked this question. I know this came up a lot, actually. Is this a good week to leave like 800 to 200? Are we going in reverse, or assuming you meant 800 to 2,000 on the table? But I'm actually fine on leaving money. I get it, because there is such bad pricing and so much value. I'm just not leaving a bunch to leave it, though. Like, I'm not trying to optimal hunt here. But if you say, you know what, I don't like Gotterup or Rye at 6,900, I prefer just to leave the money and play McNeely because McNeely is a popular value. Well, one way to play the most popular value type is to do it while leaving $800 on the table, because you should have a different construction or something where you'll still be unique or different than most. But I don't know how you feel about it, Hoop. I'm not leaving 2 to 3K just because.
No, I'm not. And I mean, even if you're talking like 1,000, leaving 1,000, your teams aren't that significantly different, really. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, just find a quick example, like Ben Griffin at 73. I like Ben Griffin for sure. Let's say I was going to leave 800 or 1,000. So I'm coming down to the $6,500. Oh, wait, I can still play Harris English, Harry Hall, Taylor Pendrith, Højgaard brothers. Like, yes, I prefer Ben Griffin, but there's really not that much a difference. Your team's still looking very similar by leaving that money on the table. It's not a week where if you leave a big chunk, you're like, oh man, this looks like way, way different. It's still going to be just as popular of a team. And I just don't see like a huge difference, I guess. So I'm not actively looking to do that. I will trust SaberSim in that task this week.
Yeah, one thing you could do that's kind of sneaky on a week like this, that again, it's probably too cute. You don't have to do it. But if I was to leave a big chunk, it would be probably duplicating too, like or replicating before I play it. But I would take like my best Scotty Scheffler lineup and drop it to Rory and just leave it and say, look, I know that now I'm going to, because one thing about that is the Rory lineups are going to look quite a bit different than the Scotty lineups, as we've already discussed. So that would be like a sneaky, as our boy Title likes to say, there's levels to this shit. Like it's probably too extra and too cute, but I'm just saying at least that would make sense, because you're chopping out the favorite for like the guy that you know could win it as well. And so you're just doing that to give yourself a naturally different construction, and you're going to be unique for sure. But that's more of a move. It's like, okay, I'm going to play this. I like Rory better than Scotty. I'll leave the rest.
100%.
In there.
That's the best way to do it. I mean, just like if you were going to leave 3,000, and I'm rounding up 3,000 on the table, like from a Xander lineup, you're going from Xander down to Siwoo Kim or Wyndham Clark or Mark Leishman or Keegan Bradley. When you make that same sort of move from Scotty to Rory, who are both going to be very highly owned, and no one else is really going to be doing it, you're still getting similar win upside and a totally different roster construction. So that is a very good call.
It's just, again, it's a little bit out there, but it works in that way more than others choose. That's why, like, I get when you're putting $800 on the table in the 6K range, you're right. Who gives a shit? Just do it. But when you're talking about leaving thousands, you're not leaving what you just said, like a $9,700 guy to a $6,700 guy. Not a good move, whether it works out or not. It's just, that's where you get into trouble trying to hunt for that. Kenny says, no, I'm on the other side. I need to be sponsored. Yeah, retiring with no money, I can't see it, Kenny. And I've seen the house that you're building and really appreciate you, man. So, I know you're playing around. Ross, I would like to apply. You guys can be the Bush's Beans for Cornwall. One thing I can tell you, Ross, because you're a long-term SHIPIT Nation member, you won't need to apply. That's one thing we can give away without even being a tease. The facts are it'll be for SHIPIT Nation members, of course. Nobody in the industry is going to be doing anything like this. I can promise you that. And nobody takes care of their community the same way. They can say they do, but not when it comes to this. We call ourselves the home of the giveaway. This will prove it. So it's going to be big. What else do we got? What's the conservative way? What's the best way to be conservative, and not go all in on Sabre? I think, Hoop, you like to just manage your exposures, right? Like you go through and actually say, like, okay, I'm not going to let it give me 70%.
It's kind of my style of play, I would say, to be honest with you. Like I'm pretty somewhat conservative. I do take some. I take pretty big. I wouldn't say I'm conservative when it comes to building teams. I do take some pretty big stands. But the best way to do this for sure is, like you said, probably using like the min max tool here, right? So say we saw Maverick McNeely was 70%. Like if you just let that ride, you're basically going all in on Sabre with the Maverick McNeely play. I get very in depth in terms of like the min max, just like right out of the gate here, looking at some of these. Let's just sort by the highest exposure here. John Rahm at 50. Yeah, sure. I'm probably good with that. And that, that's probably the reason why I like the exposure tool over here, because I'm always looking at exposures and then changing the min max. Now that I have it way over here, I got to keep going back and forth. But Rory 32, good with that. Bryson 30. You know what? I don't love Bryson this week. So I'm just saying I'm fine playing him, but I would say, all right, I don't want more than 20% him. Oh, Chris Gotterup won last week. I don't think he's going to be successful this week. I'm getting 25% of him. It's only 4% owned. I'm just going to cap it at 10, and you can go through and continue to do this. And one thing for sure, if you are making a lot of these changes, I like to go in and rerun the team, like rerun after making a bunch, because then you're going to get more teams that fit your criteria in terms of the min max stuff. Right now, it's just pulling from the 1,000 teams that I built and finding teams within those 1,000. Once I rerun it, I'm going to get more teams that fit the criteria in terms of the min max I'm looking for. So that is a good question. And I think the min max tool is definitely the way to make sure you have more of your personal input in there.
Yeah, I think that's the key. And it's just other people, are wondering that, and they talk about it all the time. It's a question that comes up quite a bit. So do you think it's okay to lock a 60? Bob was going to pull that one next. I'm just going in order. I see it.
For me, I don't. I mean, unless you have a very strong read and you just absolutely love somebody and you're okay with being all in on it and he doesn't make the cut, your week's over. For me, it's like if you're playing 5 teams, 1 out of 5 is 20%. So there's no one in the 6K range that is going to be above 20%. So you're immediately at that point above the field on your 6K guy by just playing one of them. Now, do you really like the guy? Maybe you play him on 2 teams. So for me personally, if I was building 5 teams, the most I would play of a 6K guy would probably be on 2 teams, which puts me at 40%. And I'm way, way over the field at that point. And, no one's going to be massively owned in the 6K range. So playing a guy in 2 out of 5, you're way over the field. You're getting a ton of leverage on that guy. I'd be good with that.
Yeah, bring up Sheets' comment now. Shout out to our guy Sheets, doing a ton of different content over there. You can probably see it, Hoop, on your screen if you just hover over SaberSim for a second at the top. Another advantage or benefit of being a SHIPIT Nation member is when you scroll over SaberSim drop down at the top, Hoop, of your screen, up by NFL, the drop down. Hoop's old. We got to get him dialed in. Tutorials and live Q&As. We won't go there now, but just to note, so Sheets has been on these. He's helping build some tutorials for the site. He's done tennis, MMA, I think, and PGA. So you guys can check that out. And there's some live Q&As as well. But he's talking about their new update. And it does create a bit more of a conservative build, the diversification of it. And I like Jordan's comment in layman's terms. And, for lack of better, it's the best way to put it. Basically built it so that when you're losing your ass. You still regain some of your entry fees, but it still can put you in position well enough to be in a good spot. So I really think the new update is one worth getting good with and then being able to find that. And then Sheet says, I am old and have several herniated discs. Be light with the piggyback. So lots of different ways to go. I think, Bring the Noise brings up that I like Collie over McNeely, better CFR. That's our course fit ranking, and lower ownership at the same price. Certainly can make some pivots. You're allowed to play them both as well. That's another thing that you can do. So lots of different ways that you could go with it. But I think that's kind of the setup here is if you're using the tools to your advantage. I should add too, because not everybody wants to go all the way in right away. If you do want to try out this week and the next month and get used to SaberSim and all the stuff that we have to offer, $24. If you go to the site and you just go to the $99 all access plan, you'll see it there. You can't miss it. It's $99 a month. You can use the code PGA75 and try it out for $24. So your next month is less than $1 a day. You'll find out on August 6th what's going on. And then I'm sure you'll be in by then. So you'll be able just to convert it over at any time. You can always transfer your plan and prorate it and keep all the deals intact. Did you pull up Contest Sims now?
Yep. Just ran it. Let's look through and see if anything changed drastically from, Saber score or projected score. So Scotty Scheffler bumps up quite a bit. We're getting now 60% of Scotty, and that was kind of John Rahm's spot on the previous projected score and Saber score. John Rahm were getting 60. Now it's flipped to Scotty. I'm guessing it's because of the high projected number and not like a crazy amount of ownership, but 60% Scotty, 30% Fleetwood, 30% John Rahm, basically 30 on Bryson, and then 18 on Rory. So Rory comes down quite a bit. Scotty comes up quite a bit. John Rahm comes up quite a bit. You start to see, let's see. And then, yeah, it kind of spreads out. Some of these guys in the 6Ks and 5s, I do want to take a look and see what do these Scotty teams look like. So all of a sudden, 60% of our teams are Scotty. Let's take a look and see. Scotty, John Rahm, and then some lower owned options. Cam Smith, I know for some reason we can't see it here, is 6%. Jordan L. Smith, 4%. Lawrence, 3%. Seabez, 3%. So this is a different sort of Scotty build. The second one, Scotty Fleetwood, who both are going to have some ownership. Mav, Rye, Ricky Fowler, and Grazerman.
What's is that 49-1 on that team?
Yeah, 49-1. And that is the cap that or the lowest min salary that I have on this one here.
So just to note it, because I think what a lot of people see that and think is they go, well, wait, you're playing Scotty, Mav, Fleetwood, and Rye. That's all the chalk in a Scotty lineup. But you have Fowler and Grazerman at low to no ownership in this thing, and then you've left $900 on the table. That's what people fail to realize when the contest sims and things like that play out. And I say it because then people look at these lineups that win, like last week, Hoop, and like, oh, all the chalk got there and this, that, and the other. It's how they played it, though. In that example, even if that gets there, it feels like the donkey chalk got you, but someone built a lineup with $900 on the table, 2 lower owned plays in Fowler and Grazerman, and it allowed them to play the other stuff in a great lineup still. So it's just little things like that you have to look at more than just what the exposures are. And that's why Hoop's doing a good job just going through showing you these lineups directly.
Yeah, and you can see these teams look quite a bit different. Like each one is getting exposure to something different. Now we're starting to see some Scotty Fleetwood, now more Scotty Rahm, I guess Shane Lowry's the next spend at 93. I did notice, though, for the first time that Patrick Cantlay is $8,100 this week. Oh, my. Is he falling? 81. That's got to be the lowest price for him in years, right?
Yeah, I guess. What about crazier to me, Hideki Matsuyama, 7,500.
That makes more sense because he's been awful. He's been very, very bad.
I get it, but that just seems insane to like the other ones we know are misprices of those guys in the 6K because of recent form. But then you look at like some of the recent, like the events and things like that.
Hideki hasn't been that bad. I mean, well, that 13 was at the Rocket Classic, so that is kind of bad. That's like probably like a 30 or 40 at a normal event. Yeah, it is the lowest. So I mean, that's what's crazy though. Like with the 5K range, like everything needs to get bumped up. Like these guys can't look super cheap. It just makes roster construction just. Oh, it's like so crazy. Like you just know you can't make a leverage play at the top of the board because they're all going to get pretty decent ownership.
Yeah. What about your boy Morikawa? You just continue to pound that one, and this guy's miscut again last week.
Just not very good anymore. I mean, I don't get it. Like, I mean, yeah, I'd like playing him in the past. He's always steady, rock solid. Like, I don't get it with this dude anymore. He's just not very good.
So one thing that we didn't really fully touch on, but it's obvious because it's a product of everything else we went through already, is the 7K range. And I just kind of brought Decky up for that reason. I think Connors, who we've definitely talked about, Fitzpatrick will get love for many reasons. But what if these other 7K guys show up? Because all these lineups that just pound the 6s in, yeah, it makes sense. And why? There's so many there. But you have Jordan Spieth, Justin Rose, Russ Henley, Sepp Straka, Burns, Adam Scott, Ben Griffin, a bunch of different guys, Reed, Fox, Harmon, Dietrich. Like the 7K range isn't that big versus what it usually is, but it has enough guys in there that could make a difference. Is there any thoughts around that? And then even the lower 8Ks, which you hinted at, there's not many guys in the 8Ks in general, but will people play $8,500 Justin Thomas, 82 Neiman, 8K Brooks? Like, yeah, you can't play them all. So
struggle to get a really good read. Because a lot of times we're able to say, all right, this range is going to go overlooked because of pricing. What I think this does, all right, and you can give me your opinion on it. I think it really spreads out outside of the top guys, outside of these top 4 or 5-ish guys, really spreads out ownership up and down the board. Like, I just think all these guys are going to get spread out because we know people are going to play multiples of these dudes up top, right?
Yep.
People will start to play some Shane Lowry. Ludwig looks underpriced at 91. McIntyre overseas, they're going to like, you got names that are cheaper than they've ever been. Morikawa is cheaper than he's been. Even Justin Thomas has sucked ass, and he's 8,500 cheap. Victor Hovland has been playing well cheap. People like Neiman, Cantlay. They get to the sevens. Damn, there's more guys I like. Fitzpatrick's been playing well. Hideki's the cheapest he's ever been. Sepp Straka, Ben Griffin's been one of the best players on the PGA Tour this year. Adam Scott's played well. Corey Connors has played well. Cam Young. Then you get to the 6K range, and damn, look at some of these guys down here. Sung J.M., Aaron Rai, got her up just one. Tony Finau's down here. Keegan Bradley's down here. Wyndham Clark has shown signs of life. Tom Kim has shown signs of life. Just so many dudes that look really underpriced. I think it's a lot of Scotty Scheffler ownership. There's going to be a lot of Rory. There's going to be a lot of John Rahm. People are still going to play Bryce and Xander. And then they're just going to mix and match all these dudes. 8s, 7s, 6s. I just think ownership just gets spread out so much in those ranges.
So I would say above Rye, just starting at 7K, up to even Lowry. I think because Fleetwood is definitely the cutoff. Fleetwood's getting big ownership at 9,500. I think it really gets spread out on the majority of those guys. Some will pick up steam as the week goes on. Some are popping into these projected lineups. I get it. The Matt Fitzpatricks of the world. If it's Hovland, if it's Morikawa, whatever it ends up being, my point being, and those are price related, I do agree with you, from like 7K to 9,300, there's a story for everybody. There's a case to be made for everybody. And our exposures kind of show it, I think, right? When you were looking at the
ownership. Yeah, look at the ownership here. I mean, it backs up really what we're saying. A lot of times you'll see some guys, 2-3%. Like, look at from Fleetwood's going to be his owner. It's going to be higher than that after some adjustments, but Lowry 13%. Ludwig 11, 16. Who's the lowest owned guy? Neiman at 6. And then everyone else going to be 6 and above. I think that's realistic. But like you said, there are going to be some that get steamed up, some that come down a little bit. But initial ownership projections show that all these guys are getting a little bit of something.
Yeah, Jay, that's also what Black Man said. JJ's the new Brooks. Only cares about the majors. 6,900 for JJ Spawn. Gotterup's right there. Rise right there. So I guess the bigger question is how you're treating the 5Ks, because we just went through it and I think we nailed the 7 to 8s, 9s, low 9s. Even that's going to be, well, other shows will go through who the guys are. Everyone has their guys. Some shows will make a case for their guys. Other shows will make a case for their guys. I'm going to play DFS and see how it all shakes out in the end, and we'll have all that up over on the site. But I think the 5K range is the next interesting discussion here, Hoop, just because who do you see here? Guys that people used last week are that Rattan guy, Grazerman, Kevin Yu, Matt McCarty, and Nico. I think, and some of them hurt people's feelings. Some of them didn't. Maybe Johnny Vegas, whatever. But I think people will touch it slightly. Yeah. But that's what I'm wondering.
Well, they're going to come a little bit just because, man, it's like you just play one of these guys and then you have a chance to play 3 guys of Tommy Fleetwood and above. So you can easily do that. I mean, even is it Peng or Penge, the guy that finished 3rd last week? 6K. Yeah. 6K. He's going to be on this Wrighton guy. You talked about, I played him last week. He was awful round 1 and then played really well 2, 3, and 4. We're getting in this build 15 Jordan L. Smith lineups. I think he's going to get some. We're showing 13%, getting 13% Grazerman. Kevin Yu's a popular name. And then it does fall off after these upper 5s. And I think that is going to be the case. All these dudes, 5K to 5,800, probably nothing, man. Who are people going to play? You don't even need to come down here to make it all work. So, to me, it's Kevin Yu and above going to get some ownership, but nothing else really. And you just don't even need it. If there's someone down here that you like, if you like Mackenzie Hughes, for sure play him. Haotang Lee, whoever it is, Davis, Riley, Cardi.
Wrote him off, man. You know Haotang.
How Tong, man. How Tong Lee.
Yeah.
You just don't need to do it. Like, you're getting heavy exposure up top without going down here. And I don't think the field's going to come down here all that much. I mean, for me, I played this Wrighton dude last week. Probably not how you pronounce his name. I'll play him again. I'm good with Jordan Elspeth. This Kuvra guy, he did well, right? I saw, where did he finish? I know he was definitely made the cut, I believe, right? Yeah. Made the cut and finished 73rd. So not very, very inspiring. But, Grazeman, I always play you, man. Kevin, you can get hot and make a lot of birdies. So I do like him. Your guy, Steven Yeagers. Jason Kokrak
is back.
Where has he been?
Sniffing it.
Really?
Sniffing the Kokrak. I don't know. That's a Mayo.
Wow, I have not seen that name in a long time.
I'm throwing him into a lineup just for you guys. Yeah, he looks, get
Where
him.
Is he at, Jason?
You know what's crazy though?
Live. Okay, I didn't realize he went to Live.
Yeah. That's the actual answer. I'm just making up a joke. But do you know who's actually crazy to see that we haven't seen forever? Louis Oosthuizen.
Yeah, Louis. I saw him on this list.
500 Louis. You got to get him in the mix in some, man. Come on.
He was like a big game hunter a few years ago, right? And people loved him at majors.
Yeah, I think he will be. And Patrick, my guy, he brought me this up too. Yeah, it says last time Decky was 7.5K. He won the Genesis Open, which was in 2024, like early 2024. So that notes that.
Very interesting.
Yeah, like this Phil Mickelson's and all these guys, those are just taking your shots. I get it. Like our guy Lee, go to the value report. He wrote up Phil Mickelson. He's interested and he has been playing better. My dad brought him up yesterday. That tells me what I need to know. But I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be going there. But I will say a lot of my friends that I talk to that are way more into this stuff than I am and overseas and some of these people that live over there and hit me up, a lot of them don't really like last week for this week. In the sense of like the Scottish versus this, like, yeah, you got over there and you maybe were slightly acclimated to European weather and the time and the jet lag. Sure. But I think just coming in and riding some of the form that we have and maybe not docking guys for last week, like Grazerman has been playing amazing golf and just didn't come through for people last week. He's right there at 5,900. He's the same as a 6K guy to me. Like whether you play a Penge at 6K or Grazerman, I really don't just count like whatever happened last week doesn't mean it happens this week. You guys do it every week. Why do you play DFS the next week after you just lost? Because you're expecting something different to happen because it's possible, right? It doesn't mean the same thing's going to happen back to back. Nothing says that about those two. So yeah.
With the Hovland stuff, I think he's going to get some ownership, but there's just too many guys right around him that are also going to get ownership for him to be chalk. I mean, if you think upper teens is chalk, then okay. But like when I look at this, I'm like, he's got to be like 25% for me to consider him chalk. I just don't think he can get there with all the other guys in this range that I know are going to get some degree of ownership. So I wouldn't, his popularity, I would not let that dictate whether or not you play.
Yeah, I would peg him as the best way I'd put it is I would peg him as the 8K chalk. Like I definitely think a lot of people that land on an 8K guy land on him. But what we've seen in these type of setups, and we've seen it in now, we did Sabres, we did projections, we did Sabre score, and we did contest sims. The 8K range just can't be included as much. So if it does happen to be that one 8K guy gets boosted, I agree with you. It would likely to be Hovland there at 8,300. But I just don't see that becomes one of the guys where Hoop always brings it up. And there was a few weeks where he had Tommy Fleetwood in the 8K range and you brought it up and you were dead on. And it was like, Fleetwood's going to be owned. Well, the builds just couldn't include an 8K guy. And so he came in at 12 or 13% and in higher stakes, even less, because then people grazed over that range completely. And it was like, wow, I wish I had known and played Fleetwood because what did he do? Probably came second again, like he always does. So it's like, that's what ends up happening to those guys. And I think that's important to remember as well. So that's just one other thing. Anybody, last thing here, Hoop, and then we'll get out of here. Just interesting names throughout. I guess I'm using that same concept. Lowry won here back in 19, but that has nothing to do with today. I'm just saying I think Lowry's game fits it more than just winning it in the past. I think it's fine, but it doesn't seem like he can get as owned with guys like Oberg and Fleetwood and Xander and Rahm all around him. So he's kind of interesting to me. Justin Thomas in the 8K range, squeezed in there between Morikawa, Hatton, Hovland. I like JT for this spot, 8,500. Hideki, I already talked about at 75. Adam Scott, you guys know I always like People were clamoring for Ben Griffin. He's the best golfer in the world after Scotty Scheffler. The numbers prove it. Well, why is nobody really talking about him this week at 7,300? We're jamming in all the other guys around him. Adam Scott is right there too beside him. So I see some of those guys standing out to me as like the pockets where I just, to your point, it gets more spaced out, and maybe that's where I pick some spots to take leverage. What are some of those guys for you that stand out, or is any different there for your ideas?
One for sure for me is Justin Thomas. I know you mentioned him, but like it's been up and down, but kind of seeing signs heading in the right direction, like a little bit for him. 8,500. He's super. If he's playing like he was early on in there, and you can say this about a lot of guys. You can say the same with Colin Morikawa. Like if he's playing how he was earlier on in the year, he's up here in the Fleetwood, Xander Schauffele range. But he hasn't been playing well, inconsistent. 8,500. Like he could easily be 1,000 more expensive. So he is definitely an interesting name for me in this 8-9. The Lowry stuff, I think, pretty interesting as well. But I just look at it. It's hard to find like a leverage play. Like who's going to be low owned up here? Like if you like Brooks, like I don't think anyone's going to play Brooks. He's probably the one that is probably the lowest owned. I'm not going there. Like I never really played him in the past, even when he was winning, and it cost me a shit ton of money. So I'm definitely not going there now. But yeah, the most interesting for me is definitely like JT at 85, because if he is trending in the right direction, this is too cheap for him.
Yeah. They're talking about the guy that came out of prison, the biker gang dude, man. I think he's playing in the same group as Phil Mickelson. Actually, I saw today. There's some wild groups out there, but that was one of them. Phil Mickelson's mixed in with the dude straight out of jail into the biker gang, into the open. I honestly don't know. I didn't read that full story. I saw like the Harley and the tattoos and all the classic biker gang stuff that they showed off in the article, but I don't know how he got from jail to the open. That I don't know.
That's a good story though, man. Hey, I'll tell you what, if they talked about that sort of thing in their telecast, people would be way more interested than whatever the hell they do. I mean, their talk is so awful during these golf telecasts. That one might be somewhat interesting though.
Yeah. Peak of his career, man. This could be right here. Yeah. And shout out, there's our guy Scar, Millie Maker winner from SHIPIT Nation this season. Love to see that. He's in the mix here. So we got a lot of good things going on. I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about here, Hoop, or if there's anything else you wanted to add, but should be a good event. Lots of amazing contests. Don't go overboard on your buy-ins. I know Jordan said earlier we go back because we're degens. I get it. And it's part of it for sure. But just because there's great tournaments, you should still be focused on contest selection and keeping that stuff in mind. Maybe you don't win this week, but you crush it at the 3M Open. Spoiler alert, you can't play the 3M Open if there's no money left over after this week. So, you got to stay in the game for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a fun week. Obviously, the schedule is a little bit different with it being, 5, 6, 7 hour time difference, but yeah, it should be a good one. Loaded field, obviously last major. And then I want to pull up the homepage again, if we can do that. Let's see. Boom. Boom. We got our NFL stuff ready to roll. And I mean, the value is absolutely insane. Again, we kind of talked about all the benefits. I mean, so much value, such an affordable price all the way through the Super Bowl. I mean, this is all the way through. It's not like you have to re-up when the playoffs start. Just an insane deal. Includes SaberSim, includes our Discord, includes Mastermind videos, and man, just so much value jammed into this one package. We want this to be your home for NFL season, and there's just no way you'll regret joining up with us.
Yeah, I think you already have it up there. I'm just going to see if it'll let me roll back over real quick just to share this thing, but I'll show it off and then we'll get out of here. I think this is key though, just so people see the difference in everything. But this is the main thing. If you go here, you can just get in right off the hop. If you go join the nation, we're always transparent on this one to make sure everybody sees everything, and go to single sport. If you see it at the top with NFL, you can get it for $2.99 with no SaberSim, but it's a much better deal to just lock in SaberSim and be good to go. You're going to be using it in some way, shape, or form, whether you're copying what we do with the dry runs for yourself, all these different factors. It's a nice piece to have. And this is the savings. So the whole point is, if you're going to buy it anyway, you're going to save the money now. You get the $99 a month all access included for 2 months because it's till September 3rd. So you're going to get it anyway. So all of August, all September, you get this all access up to September. So just under 2 months. That's $200 value. And then somebody asked earlier about the course. We'll just show it off here quick. But the mega course is 9 different components. There's the goals, the bankroll management and contest selection, my personal DFS process, preparing for the main mega $10 million on DraftKings last year, how I did my 5 lineups up for that, the 2 to 4 game and the short slates, my optimizer process, which will be updated with SaberSim. That comes included. King of the Desert qualifier review, which is back for golf this week, by the way. If you want to get in King of the Desert, the qualifier started this week. My 40K NFL review from the Monster last year. And then going behind this curtain, just look at some of the Uticows, McLovins, those guys in Showdown. There's some really good strategy. And then the live final experience. So all this is included. You end up getting all these videos as just an included part. So you can prep up over the next 6 weeks. Get ready. Football's coming back, man. We're really close to it now. This is the best time to get in. If you go back to the main page, click Ship It Nation, use the banner at the top. You could literally do whatever you want. If you have any questions, email us, info@shipitnation.com. Hit me up directly on X @ToeTagginTambo if you want to reach out. We'll get you guys all set up. I think that's going to do it for this one, though, guys. For Hoop, for myself, ToeTagginTambo, let's ship it.